engineering, it has sciences, and I believe it also has pharmacy.
Yes, it does.
So yeah, so I think as a university, KL University is really prime setup for that multidisciplinary collaboration that students can experience, which is really required when they come out into the real world, right? Because no problem gets solved individually, especially these tough problems. Right? We deal with legal, we deal with healthcare industry, we deal with doctors, we deal with nurses while coming up with solutions. So I just wanted to give them some thought on that they're well placed with respect to getting that experience in the university.
Yeah.
And then end my thoughts there. Is that okay, Andy?
Sure, Andy. Sure. That's really awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. Just excuse me for a couple of minutes. I'll quickly post some messages.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Right, sorry, I did not turn on my mic. A very good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining in today. We have our chief guest, Mr. Nukula Sriram Garu, and along with the chief guest, we also have faculty from KL University CSE department, both from Vijayawada and Hyderabad campus. And we also have students from the Y19 batch, the 2019 admitted students who are currently in their second year of graduation. So these students today are working on a 48-hour hackathon, a 2-day hackathon, where they will be. I think that's not. So the students are currently working on a 2-day hackathon, and that hackathon is an extension to the skill development project that they started at the beginning of the semester. Skill development project has components from their mean stack development course, the database management systems course, their software engineering course, and also the AI and mathematical programming courses. So all these concepts put together, they have started building a web-based project. And if that was part of their project evaluation, the 2-day hackathon will have additional use cases added to the project, and students will be working on the front end and the back end development of these use cases. And motivate you all, we also have our chief guest today, Mr. Nukula Sriram Garu. I'll give a quick, I'll introduce him to you all. Nukul Sriram Garu is an AI and data science leader at Cognizant Technology Solutions. Technology leader with strong experience building and leading high-performance teams across multiple technology platforms. He managed applications, infrastructure, and operations with annual budgets of over $4 billion. Successfully led teams, created partnerships with technology service providers, and delivered solutions for various complex enterprise programs with budgets over $9 million. He's an effective change leader who has led several people, processes, and technology-related transformational programs, improving team management, project delivery, and speed to market capabilities. Has strong communication skills with proven ability to face off with business leaders, building strong relationships and aligning business expectations with delivery capability. He also demonstrates a unique combination of technical and business acumen with strong interpersonal skills. So we have here today Mr. N. Sriram Garu. And Sriram Garu, please address our students and please pass your valuable message today. And you can also share with them your thoughts about the AI and how it has been booming and what steps they can take forward and look forward for the future with respect to AI.
Yeah, thanks, Harikaran Garu, for the wonderful introduction. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So, yeah, I want to start off with thanking you all, Professor Harikaran Garu, Dr. Srinivas Garu, faculty of the CSE department, the Focus Forum group that is coordinating this event and making this possible, the management of KL University that is actually sponsoring and making this all possible, and especially the class of 2019 that are participating in this awesome event. Today, I'm honored to be with you all for the Hackathon inaugural event to have the opportunity to address at one of the finest universities that we have in our country today. I want to, Harkiran Garu said that I had 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes max. So I picked one topic to address the class of 2019 today. And the topic is ethical AI. So the reason I picked this topic is as students, you probably will hear a lot about the promise of AI, right? What it can do, how it can transform our lives in the coming decades to come. But I wanted to, I picked this topic to give you a view of what pitfalls or what are the things that we should look out for when we build these AI solutions to address some of the challenging problems that we have in our world and in our communities today. So as you all probably are reading today in terms of the promise of AI, it is inevitable that AI is here to stay, irrespective of some of the challenges we may have with it. It is inevitable to stay with us. It is definitely going to transform the way we live our lives. We will interact with AI-based solutions on a day-to-day basis as we go about our duties every day. The decisions that we make, both personally as well as professionally, as well as business-oriented decisions, it is here to stay. But with all the promise that AI has, there are a lot of challenges that it also brings forward that we need to make sure as engineers, as a community of engineers, and overall as and it is not just a responsibility of engineers, but as along with engineers, the legal teams, the decision-making bodies in terms of in terms of our governance that we have. All of us have to come together to solve some of these challenging problems when we face these AI solutions in our day-to-day lives that are going to make decisions in the future. I will start off with giving a couple of examples, right, to make you understand why building ethical and intelligent AI-based solutions is complex when you are trying to solve real-world problems or real-world challenges. When you are trying to look at certain things like automation or certain things that are going to enhance your lives, let us say an AI-based a model that understands your coffee preferences and gets your coffee maker up and running by the time you wake up in the morning with the flavor that you probably will intend to drink that day, right? Or an AI-based and IoT-based solution that understands what you are going to eat for the next week and sees what you have in your refrigerator and automatically orders certain stuff for you that to make sure that you have that in stock while you go about your coming week. Right? So all of these are trivial challenges. So these are all automation challenges that will enhance our personal lives. But I'm actually going to steer you towards real challenges that will impact societies at large, that will impact generations, that will impact humankind, that will impact research. So those are some of the things that we have to care about as well when we talk about AI-based solutions, and see how we can bring ethics into those type of solutions. So there are two important things when you look at ethical AI. One is bias, and the other one is moral decision making. So when you talk about bias, I will give you a couple of examples. Today, a couple of problems that we're facing today. Recently, United Healthcare, which is the largest healthcare organization in the world, is being investigated by regulators for creating an algorithm that allegedly is recommending doctors and nurses to focus on white patients and ignore patients of color or ignore more sick black patients. So this is an inherent bias that the algorithm has. Right? Another example, Goldman Sachs, a large financial organization, one of the world's largest financial organization, is also being interrogated by regulators for building and implementing an AI-based algorithm that is actually providing higher credit limits to male applicants of Apple cards compared to female applicants. This is another inherent bias that is built into the AI solution. If you understand, so why is this happening? Where is this bias coming from? Right. So when you look behind these AI solutions, all these AI solutions use data to make decisions. And data is actually who creates the data. It is all of us as humans. We create the data as we make decisions on a daily basis. We go about our lives on a daily basis. We all create data footprint. And these AI algorithms are using that data to train themselves and make decisions. And humans inherently are biased as well. So the data that we create is biased, and the algorithms that are coming up in the market are actually propagating that bias into the decision making. So you can understand the complexity of the problem, where I won't discuss the solution, but I just want to give you thoughts to think about. So you can understand the complexity of the problem, where large organizations in the world that have enormous amount of financial backing, that have enormous amount of financial resources, are struggling to get some of these solutions right using AI. So you can understand what is the magnitude of the problem that we have. Right? So the as we so that is for bias. So we have to make sure when we build AI solutions, we build checks and balances to actually root out the bias and make sure that they make equitable decisions based on true performance. Next, when we come to moral decision making, again, I will take another example to talk through. All of us and most of you students have heard about automated cars, where or the driverless technology that is coming into the market, that we are all witnessing to a certain extent, but not complete automation yet. But we believe that automated cars or driverless cars will be on the roads in the next decade. By 2030, we will see vast adoption of these cars. But there are all these cars today. When we talk about automation, there are a lot of other ethical problems or moral problems that these automated software has to solve when making a decision. So, for example, when we are driving on the road, when a human is driving on the road, and there is the signal is green, but there is a pedestrian that is not following the rule or illegally crossing the road. So as humans, what do we do? Right? We react, and suddenly we apply the brake to make sure that we don't hit the pedestrian probably, or we try to steer into the next lane to see if we can avoid the incident. So we make decisions, but when you are looking for an AI solution to make this decision for you in your driverless technology, then we are actually programming those decisions into the software. So, for example, what does a automated car do when it encounters this situation? Should it immediately stop and risk the passengers within the vehicle, or should it hit the pedestrian, or should it try to move to the next lane? But the next lane, there may be another car, there may be a cyclist, there may be a person on the bike that it may hit, or so there are n number of decisions that AI software in this scenario has to take. But you may ask, when you compare this, yeah, human also is making some of these decisions, but in this type of situations, our human decision is driven by panic and we react. It is not a premeditated decision where it is actually built into our mind saying that, yeah, now I cannot risk anything. I have to hit the pedestrian, or I have to move to the left, or I have to move to the right, or I have to stop, irrespective of someone with the risk of someone coming from back and hitting me, right? So this is a decision that humans make in panic. We react. But when you look at an AI-based solution trying to make these decisions have to be programmed. So how do you program this? What is right? What is wrong? What is moral? What is not moral? What does so there are a lot of differences that come into the play when an AI solution that is trying to solve a real world problem is going to face. So I suppose you get the point. So given these challenges that we have, I just want to leave you with the thought that with all the promise that AI has, there are a lot of challenges that we have to solve to make this beneficial to mankind. Outside of trivial automation, improving quality of life, and all of that will definitely come. But when you're looking at AI solutions to solve human solutions for mankind, solutions for societal good, there are a lot of things that have to be addressed as we move forward trying to use this technology. So I just want to enlighten you to to these challenges. While you look at the promise, you also take time to look at these challenges as you graduate in the next 2 years and come into the real world. These are some of the challenges that you will have to face. You will have to solve. You will have to collaborate with a lot of other teams and solve some of these problems. So get involved with respect to what is going on with AI in building ethical AI solutions. Try to understand what material is out there in the world. Try to make decisions. Try to get involved in the community with respect to making these decisions, making your voices heard when it comes to some of these challenging problems. So that is what I wanted to leave you with. Now, coming to the hackathon today that you all will be doing in the next 48 hours. These are excellent events that will give you the real world exposure in terms of problem solving. In the real world, when you look at problem solving, it is a complex interaction between multidisciplinary teams. When you try to solve a problem, we rarely solve a problem on our own. Right? So there is security involved, there is legal involved, there is, when you're trying to solve a healthcare problem, there are doctors and nurses involved. It is not just IT or a computer science problem when you're trying to solve a real world problem. So there are multidisciplinary teams that are involved. And these hackathons will give you good exposure or learning in terms of how to collaborate and solve some of and solve these problems. At your university, at KL University, you have the right base and the right infrastructure to actually learn this multidisciplinary collaboration before you come into the real world from the academic world. The reason I say that is within the university you have various departments in addition to engineering. Within engineering, I think there are 8 departments within engineering related to various fields. Outside of engineering, you have sciences, you have pharmacy. So with all these students, what I would encourage you is collaborate across departments, collaborate across verticals, and talk through problems, ideate for problems by doing collaboration across these verticals, this is an opportunity you have with your university where a lot of other universities may not have, right? If a university only has an engineering, or if there is only an engineering college, the students will have only exposure to engineering, but you have the opportunity to get exposure to pharmacy, to have exposure to other sciences, and also collaborate, learn to share your learning, and prepare yourselves for coming into the real world to solve real challenges. And these type of hackathons that your university is conducting are prime sources for getting that collaborative experience, getting that shared learning experience. So with that, I leave you with one of the famous quotes from Steve Jobs, which is "Stay hungry, stay foolish." So thank you for having me, and all the best for you all in your hackathon for the next 48 hours.
Thank you, Sriram Garu. That was really an interesting session. That was really an interesting topic, and you have brought in the right thoughts into the students, because this is a time where they're also learning about optimization as part of their engineering curriculum. So if they look at courses like Mathematical Programming 1 and Mathematical Programming 2 for the next semester, it all talks about like how do we optimize solutions. So I think the example that you gave on how an AI-driven vehicle works proactively on taking a decision, and that too one which is very much optimized rather than picking only one of the solutions, right? So I think that is exactly what engineering is all about, trying to build not just the solutions, but building optimized solutions and building them in a proactive manner. I think the students with the right curriculum and with the right kind of evaluation components, you're all going forward in the right direction. Trust us, and please make sure you're putting in efforts to gain all that knowledge as you work through these courses. Now, for the next few minutes, what I'll do is I'll brief you all on some of the important guidelines for the hackathon, and please make sure you're listening to this carefully, understand the entire process, and work accordingly so that you score really well and you also learn well, right? So hackathon, in fact, is part of your formative assessments. When I say formative assessments, these are assessments where there is continuous learning. So hackathon is not an opportunity just to get marks or get evaluated. It is also an opportunity where you learn while you're getting evaluated. So make sure that every team has a good learning experience in these 2 days. Now, as part of the guidelines, morning 7 o'clock, you all started with your pre-review. So the pre-review is still continuing in some of the teams. So the purpose of the pre-review is to ensure that the faculty teams who are reviewing this hackathon understand what you have done in the project till date and to give you an additional use case. So they will allocate an additional use case, understanding what you have done in the project. And it is not just faculty who will suggest a use case. It is you as a team also can come up with multiple use cases, have a discussion with the faculty team, and let the faculty finalize on what is the use case that you will be working in the next 2 days. But please make sure you get this in writing from the faculty that this is the use case that you'll be working on. And as we move forward, the next review, once you get the use case allocated, the next review for your work will start at 3 o'clock. And meanwhile, there will be teams, the student teams from Y17, Y18 are also part of this hackathon. They will be monitoring you to check whether you're continuously working, whether you have any queries, whether you need some sort of support. If there is any technical support needed, they will extend that for you. So there will be continuous monitoring process, and the next review starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And once that review completes, that review, mainly the purpose of that review is to check whether you're going in the right direction or not, whether you understood the use case in the right way, whether you're going forward with a solution in a thought, in a way that the faculty has expected you, or whether you have rightly set up the context and rightly building the solution or not. That's a 3 o'clock review. And after that, the next review is at 10 o'clock in the night. Just give me one. The next review is at 10 o'clock in the night, and that review, I have already shared the rubrics of these reviews. So please make sure you work according to the rubrics so that you also do not, score less during the hackathon. So 10 o'clock review mainly focuses on whether you're able to build the backend appropriately or not. While 3 o'clock review mainly focuses on your front end development, the 10 o'clock review, the night 10 o'clock review focuses on your backend development. And the next review after 10 p.m. is at 5 a.m. in the morning. And the expectation from you all for the hackathon is that you be awake and you're working for building the solution in a continuous process, right? So there will be teams that will be monitoring you throughout the night. They'll be helping you throughout the night. So 5 o'clock in the morning is when the next review is. And the last review will happen at 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Following that, we will have presentations by the teams, right? So that is the entire process. And also, meanwhile, I advise students to post questions to both Sriram Garu and me. If you have any questions from what Sriram Garu has suggested you, and if you have any questions related to hackathon, you can post them to me. So the chat is open for you all to post questions. So let me go through. I think there are already. Yeah, please go ahead and start posting questions in the chat. There is a chat provision. There is a Q&A provision also. So please use these two provisions and post the messages, post your queries. There seems to be some questions from the student community regarding the ethical AI. So you can also post it as comments if you're watching the YouTube live. And if you're not part of the actual WebEx meeting, but if you're watching the YouTube live, you can also post the comments there. The support team will help pass the comments from there to me so that we can answer those questions.
Harikim Garu, I am not able to see the questions in the WebEx chat, but is there any?
Yeah, we just asked them to post. So I think we are getting questions from the YouTube comments.
Okay.
So I'll collect those questions and I'll pass them to you, sir. Q&A. Yeah, Q&A doesn't have anything as of now. Prashant sir, please post your question. Do you want me to unmute you? I can do that. Prashant sir, I have unmuted you. If you have a question, you can
Yes.
ask Sriram Garu. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sriram Garu, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Prashant Garu.
Sir, probably you might have seen so many events like this in your career, but in your opinion, what could be the motto or what should be the goal of any hackathon in your opinion, sir?
Sorry, Annie, can you repeat it? What would be the?
What should be the goal of any hackathon? Irrespective of, there are so many types of hackathons. Like when it comes to the hackathon like this, or in general, in your opinion, what should be the goal of a hackathon?
Yeah, question. So there are two things. I look at it in two ways. One, the one of the goals is providing opportunities for students to actually build their skill and also display their skill. So that is one, because as sorry, I'm hearing a lot of background noise. Okay. So as one is looking at from a student's perspective, giving the students opportunities to actually display or actually put into practice what they are actually learning, and display their learnings to the world, right? So today employers are also evolving during the hiring process, and are putting more weightage to the some of these things like the hacker rank, where the employer gets confidence that the student or is has actually had some exposure to solving real world problems in a real world situation, right? So, for example, solving any type of a problem with 48 hours timeline, whatever MVP or the most viable product or whatever the students are going to build, is a huge challenge, and that in itself drives innovation within the student community, right? So that is one. The other piece of the hackathon is, as students evolve in bringing problems that are cross-disciplinary, right? One of these goals of this hackathon should be for the students to learn how to understand these cross-disciplinary problems, right? Not just look at the problem in a technical nature, but look at the problem holistically with respect to solving some kind of a societal issue. So, for example, the class of 2019 may start with looking at technical problems in second year, but as they mature and get into third year or their final year, they should start collaborating across other departments or other disciplines within the KL University to bring real world problems and try to solve those real world problems with collaboration, right? So, for example, you are bringing in some kind of a research problem from the pharmacy team. So you have a pharmacist on your team, you have a technical resource on your team, and you need to implement a mathematical model. So you have a statistician on your team. So build teams for. So pretty much the idea of these hackathons also is to learn to work in a collaborative manner and actually share learnings between teams and between disciplines, so that each disciplines can grow on their learnings. So these are the two things that I say. One is displaying your capabilities to prospective employers or to prospective research institutions, whatever your goals may be. And two, learn to collaborate, because that is what is really needed in the real world when you're trying to solve some of these real challenges.
Sriram Garu, yeah, Sriram Garu, we have few questions from the students. The first question is, sir, any technical revolution needs an ethical transformation to happen in the society. For instance, a change in the thought process. We are not what we were a while ago before all the technical prowess we achieved. What should we be tomorrow to achieve this transcendence?
This is Hi Manoj. I believe this is a very deep question. Uh, so there is a concept. The, actually you are looking at. There are multiple ways to look at what Manoj is asking. Sai Manoj is asking. It's actually a wonderful question and a very deep question to think through. But if you ask me for one thing, that we should transform ourselves today is shared humanity. If you look at everything that is going on out in the real world, right? We always see the 24/7 news channels, the social media, everything is flooded with conflict-related discussions. This is my opinion. This is your opinion. I am right. You are wrong. Kind of discussions that we have exposure to every day in our lives today. But you won't believe when you look at the human genome, when they decoded the human genome, 99.9999% the human genome is same for every human, all of us. The 99.9, there is only 0.1 thousandths of 1%. We are different in our genes, and that causes our hair to be different, our color to be different, whatever it is, our health to be different. But it is only 1/1000th of 1%. So if you look at that broad lens, we all have a lot of common ground. So if you ask me for one thing that we have to change, or as next generation Zs, or you will be generation Zs, as next generations, you need to keep a eye on is try to find common ground while respecting your differences. That is one thing that we have to change this world. If we can't get to that, then we will always be in conflict, and we can't solve some of the big problems that we have at our hand. When you talk about climate change, when you talk about healthcare for everyone, for all mankind, or when you are trying to eradicate poverty, when you try to think about these problems and how you can apply technology to solve these problems, there has to be a common ground that we have to agree while we respect our differences. So that is one thing that I can tell you. And as the younger generation, don't get into that mantra of, yes, I am different, everyone is different. Yes, we are all different, but we also have a way lot in common. So try to find that common ground and partner with people that are different from you to solve some of these challenges that we have in the world today. So shared humanity is what I will leave you with.
So we'll go to the next question by Sumant, PVS Sumant. Should there be any regulations on these kind of technologies like AI? Won't they intercept the privacy? If user feels like this, then how do we make them overcome the fear of AI?
Absolutely. There is a lot of so I left you with the thought there is a lot of stuff going on in terms of regulation for AI. The European Union is coming up with what should be the features of an ethical AI solution. So the solution should do good. The solution should not do harm. The solution should be equitable. So there are a lot of conversations happening with lawmakers across the world today with respect to ethical AI. Germany, for example, has just released their thought process in terms of automated cars. Right? What are the things that automated cars should adopt in terms of making sure that the ethics of the society is preserved? Right? So a lot of conversation going on. One of the key things. So these are tough problems to solve, and you are asking the right question. So healthcare industry is one industry that has evolved over the last 10 to 15 years in terms of bringing regulation that safeguards privacy, that safeguards equity, and all of that. So there is a lot of conversation in the AI community today, in the technology community, to learn from healthcare. What did healthcare do right in terms of privacy and all of that? So that is one. Regulation definitely is the other one. The key important feature, the utmost key important feature within an AI solution that is really important to make sure that we overcome the fear of AI is what we call explainable AI. Building explainability into your AI solution. Meaning, any decision that an AI solution or an AI model makes, it has to explain why it made that decision, what data points were considered to make that decision or to arrive at that decision, which is called explainable AI or explainability built into AI. So that is the key feature. It is tough to do because when you look at as you go along, as you understand how these AI models, especially these neural net models, run, it is tough to get to explainability, right? So, for example, to a neural net model, you give let us say, I'll give you a very easy example. You give 1,000 images of a cat to a neural net model so that it can learn and say, oh, a cat in this angle, cat in this angle, cat with stripes, cat with black, cat with white, all of that, with, for, without, for. So you train the neural net model so that when you present it with a photo of a dog, it says, yes, this is not a cat, this is a dog. Or when you present it with a different photo of a different cat from, for example, from Australia, it correctly predicts that it is a cat, right? But when you look at all of that, if you ask the neural net model, why did you predict this as a cat? Or for example, why did you not predict this as a cat? It is hard to explain because neural net models work on the concept of how human brain works. So for example, if you ask a human, why did you say that this is a cat? You may be able to say, yeah, it has because of your previous generalized learning that you are able to predict, right? So explainability is key. We have to build that into the solution. All regulation is going towards that, meaning that any AI model that makes a decision has to explain why it made that decision. So that is one way of getting over the fear of AI and embracing it.
We'll go with the next question, sir. This is by Hrithik Lakshman. So why can't we see an AI bot which can create its own models like cars, buildings, and designs at present? Sir, if it is possible, what are the things that are holding it back at present? And in how many years can we expect this kind of model?
So there is, if I would tell you, yeah, at least I will give you, there are various conflicting points and various arguments out there with respect to intellectuals, but we are way far from achieving that kind of a North Star in terms of AI building its own solutions without any just with learning from the data and without any human intervention. We are way far from it. And I'll tell you, the reason. The technology is evolving from artificial intelligence to a concept called artificial general intelligence. So, for example, when I say general intelligence, that is how the human brain thinks. For AI to build to go there and actually think like a human brain, there is lot of room that we need to patch up in terms of getting our AI technology to think like a human brain. So just a same example that I gave you regarding a cat. So you take a neural net model today, and if you want that model to identify a cat as a cat, you probably have to train that model with thousands of images of a cat. A cat is sitting, a cat is standing, a cat is jumping, a cat is moving this way. A picture of a cat only where the tail is visible, but the head is not visible. You'll have to train the model on thousands and thousands of images for it to be able to predict accurately that when you present a very different picture of a cat, that it will predict that, yes, this is a cat. But look at the human brain. If you show a kid 2 times, if you tell the kid, hey, this is a cat, this is a dog, then any variation of a cat that kid will see, the human brain will predict with very high accuracy that, yes, this is a cat. When the kid encounters a very different image of a cat, the kid will be able to say, yeah, Dad, this is a cat. So look at the difference between artificial intelligence and human intelligence, which we call general intelligence. So for artificial intelligence to go to general intelligence, there is a long path to cross. So we are not there yet. I don't know if we will ever be there in terms of completely AI mimicking the human brain. I think we will be in a situation where we will have assisted solutions, where the research is going on in terms of connecting the brain to an AI model so that the AI model will actually learn how the brain is thinking in terms of situations. But because of the amount of training that is involved, I'm not sure whether we will still achieve that level of reality in terms of any AI technology mimicking the human brain, but we will come close. There is a lot of research that is going on, and artificial general intelligence will become a reality maybe in the next 15 years or so. And when we go there, we will see how things will evolve. But it is anyone's thing to get in terms of whether we will reach there or not.
One last question, sir. How should a student in technology align one's thought process to not just be limited to their domain, but also explore multidisciplines and serve a greater purpose towards humanity? This is a question from Sindhu Ramrita.
Yeah, excellent question. So you will hear the term always when you hear AI, you will hear the term always AI for good. So when like I was saying, right, how do you get to these thought process in terms of not just solving technical problems or solving problems that improve your personal quality of life, but solving problems that actually make a difference in the world, right? So there is a huge difference. The one thing, the one method to do that is, like I said, collaborate, and collaborate. And collaboration is way different than teamwork. Collaboration is way different than cooperation. So when I say collaborate, collaboration involves investment. So when we say, and collaboration also involves effort, right? So trying to understand what can I do more with the technology or with the tools or with the knowledge that I have learned. And I think all of this will come with experience, because a lot of times you get into certain situations, you face certain problems, and then you realize that you have a connection to that problem, right? And then you take over that problem and try to solve that for humankind or for mankind. So it is very hard to it is easy to have encountered that situation, parallels, and connect the dots and say, this is how I came here, or this is how I came across this problem. But looking forward, it is not easy. So the only advice that I can give is keep your eyes open to what is going on in the world outside of just technology or outside of your academic learning. What is going on in the world? What problems that the world have? For example, in terms of and pick something that you are passionate about, and don't worry about failure. And if you pick something that you are passionate about and you come across that the inhibition around not worrying about failure, then make yourself open to collaborate with people from various disciplines, because you can bring the technology expertise, someone can bring the domain expertise, someone can bring the social expertise, or someone else can bring the legal expertise. So make yourself open for collaboration. And if you do these three things, then I think you will be able to make a difference in this world.
Thank you, sir. I request Narasimha Garu, our RPAC chairman, to speak a few words to thank the guests today and also to address the students and wish them good luck for the hackathon. Narasimha Garu, you should be able to unmute your microphone. You're not the presenter. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, HOD sir, for giving me an opportunity to introduce our chief guest, this hackathon. Thank you, Sriram Garu. Really, we are fortunate enough to have you here on this particular occasion. Really, from our institute, on behalf of our institute, on behalf of our department, I am really welcoming you to this particular occasion. And I really wonderful speech that you have given, sir. Really, in fact, the thing is that you have given a lot of inputs to the students regarding what kind of problems that they are supposed to solve in the near future. And this is something which I really felt really very happy that by providing different kinds of inputs for different kinds of problems to the students. And at the same time, also you also have given the students as well as to us regarding the kind of technology that is going to happen in the near future, and with what technology also we should be ready. That is what also you have given to us. Thank you, sir, very much. And also you talked about the current trends in AI. You talked about explainable AI and all that. You talked about neural networks. Everything almost all you covered a very important aspects of the AI technology, sir. Thank you very much for being part with us today. And I also, wish the students that it is going to be a very good, wonderful platform for you all to exhibit your talent. This is what our chief guest is also saying about. And please, I congratulate all the students who are taking part on this particular occasion, and see that you are going to get benefited from it and you should be able to enjoy that what you are doing. This is what we all feel basically by taking part of this kind of a occasions. So I suggest the students please take care of this. Please okay, because yes, it's the one which is something which you need to. Okay, so I wish students. I wish also to exhibit your talent, whatever the talent that you have, please try to exhibit. This is the occasion, this is the platform for you to exhibit anything that what you have. This is what I've been keep telling you also in the reviews. I have been taking from all the 25 reviews I have taken right from morning 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Okay, and you are all wonderful. You are all having wonderful ideas. The thing is that you should be able to know how to formulate those ideas into a concrete plan. This is something which I wanted you to explore. I am astonished. Of course, though I am a faculty member, but I am listening your the kind of that what you are doing. I really the kind of ideas what you are having is really very good, and they are all socially useful kind of a project that you can exhibit. But the only thing is that you should be able to understand how to articulate those plans into a reality. Good to know. And we also got the inputs from our chief guest as well. Okay, and I wish you all the best for your future endeavors. I hope you should come up with flying colors by attending these kinds of hackathons and all that. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, for chief guest, sir, for being part with us today. And your inputs are valuable to us a lot, and not only to us, not even for the, I mean, even for the students. Really, they have enjoyed a lot your lecture and all that. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for all.
Thank you, Narasimha. All right, so that we come to the end of the session. I have few questions from students. One of the students said, should we be available on Microsoft Teams for the entire duration of the hackathon? Till 10 o'clock in the night for the review, you must be available as a team on Microsoft Teams. From 10 to 5 o'clock in the night, at any given point of time, at least one person should be available on Microsoft Teams so that the faculty can interact with them. So you can take turns to take rest in case if some of your team member wants to take rest, the others should be able to compensate for him. So from night 10 to morning 5, you should be available. From your team, at least one person should be available in Microsoft Teams. But before 10 p.m. and after 5 a.m. tomorrow, all the 3 members must be available in Microsoft Teams. All right. So with that, once again, I thank our chief guest, N. Sriram Garu. Thank you for the wonderful session. And I also wish the students the very best for their hackathon. And I also thank the faculty for being part of this event, for putting in so much effort to monitor the students, to mentor the students and guide them irrespective of the timings. I understand that hackathon in terms of timings, especially for faculty, for not for students, for someone elderly, it is quite difficult for them to manage the timings, but still I could see that enthusiasm in the faculty to mentor the students irrespective of the time frame. So thank you so much for being part of the hackathon, and I wish all the students the very best for this day and tomorrow, and ensure that you come up with some of the finest solutions. Thank you all. So that's the end of the session.
Yeah. Thank you, Arikiran Garu, for having me. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.